Welcome back, everybody, to the Built for Anything audio podcast. I'm your host, Hertz, the voice of the voiceless. And this is the podcast where we have fun. We talk about sports and all the drama. And hopefully you learn a thing or two. All right, so let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with, you guessed it, I'm going to start off with Lonzo Ball. Because I'm seeing a trend right now. I'm seeing a trend of every veteran player that plays the point guard position, either that person or someone on their team who is upset at, comments from LeVar Ball, either, prior to him coming into the league, Lonzo Ball coming into the league, where all these guys claim that they're going to torture Lonzo Ball. So the latest is Marcin Gortat from the Wizards. Now, the Lakers are facing the Wizards Wednesday night. And Gortat comes out on Twitter and says that John Wall is going to torture Lonzo Ball for 48 minutes. Now, here's how I honestly feel about this. I feel like a lot of these players have daddy issues, and they're trying to take out their frustration on Lonzo Ball and LeVar Ball. Why do I say that? Look, you mean to tell me you're an athlete and you need extra motivation, not from what I say, but from what someone else says, and that person happens to be my parent? Your parent is, once again, I'm going to say this again. Your parent is supposed to believe in you. They're supposed to instill in you a kind of confidence and a belief that you can do anything. I don't have kids, but if I had a son or I had a daughter, I would tell them every day, no matter what it is that they're doing, I would want them to not look to the next person who's doing something. I would want them to want to be great. If I had a kid coming into the league, I would say, listen, if you're going into the NBA, if you don't have any aspirations on being better than Michael Jordan or being better than Kobe Bryant or being better than LeBron James, you're wasting your time. Now, am I saying everybody is as talented as those guys? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, most people, it's not that they, see, I have a saying, right? It's not that you aim too high and miss. It's that most people aim too low and hit. And so when I look at this situation, I'm saying, look, Lonzo Ball, when I look at this kid and I listen to what he says, all he cares about is winning. All he cares about is making his teammates better, making the team better. You never hear this guy talking about I. And when he loses, he's upset. That's what I want to see. So these veterans, right? If you need this motivation, then something's wrong with you. Because you should already be motivated. You should be coming into every game with the mindset of, I want to destroy that other person on the other team who's guarding me. And so let's talk about John Wall for a second. So let me get this right. He's going to torture Lonzo Ball. The same way you tortured Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs? Didn't Isaiah Thomas drop, 53 points on you. Now, granted, John Wall did drop, 44, maybe 43 in that game. But here's the thing. John Wall is recorded as being 6'4". Isaiah Thomas is, 6 feet? Maybe? So, he's definitely, look, you could just look on your TV. Isaiah Thomas is probably the smallest point guard in the league. Okay, he's no matter who he's standing next to. And you couldn't stop him. Okay? And I'm talking, if you look at game 2 of that series, Isaiah Thomas outscored John Wall 29-5 in the fourth quarter. So who are you torturing? When I look at Lonzo Ball, he's 6'6". He's a pass-first point guard. He's not going to get into the one-on-one with you. Honestly, look, John Wall could have 30, 40 points. Lonzo Ball could have 20, 14 assists, 10 rebounds. And if they get the W, I don't care. That's, again, for a rookie, 19 years old. And again, I really have to come back to these veteran players because that seems to be the theme that's going on. Every player, has to comment and I get it. It's the media. It's not all them. Media does throw this in their faces. Hey, Lakers is coming into town, or you're playing the Lakers next, and are you gonna approach Lonzo differently? So this is the narrative that they're playing. Speaking of rookies, big shout out to Ben Simmons. Had a monster game today. First triple double. Something that LeBron James couldn't do in his first season and a half. Hey, look, I'm just a messenger. Don't kill me. I know I'm not saying Ben Simmons is the next LeBron James. He might be better. I don't know. My thing with Ben Simmons is he doesn't have a jump shot. Okay. He's a big body. Kind of like Lonzo, a big point guard. But if you're Philadelphia and you drafted Markelle Fultz, look, I looked at the box score. Markelle Fultz had 2 points. Don't tell me he's getting Rookie of the Year. Like, he's out of it. Playing alongside Ben Simmons and Embiid, there's no way this guy's getting it. And when you look at, Ben Simmons, here's my take on him. Ben Simmons, when he got drafted 2 years ago, and he came into the league, and he got hurt immediately in the off season, or the preseason, I should say. I'm sorry. See, what people don't understand is he was ready by mid-season. He was good to go, but the team wanted to tank, and so they didn't want to insert him into the lineup. And so during that time, he had opportunities to play and condition himself against that roster. So to me, when I see Ben Simmons and what he's doing now, I'm not too surprised with it, because this is a guy who had time to develop underneath the NBA umbrella. See, that's important, because this is a guy who he didn't go deep into the NCAA Final Four or Sweet 16. He had no part of that. And so he didn't have the type of coaching, right, that guys are getting now in the NBA, once they get there. And so, again, he's a skilled player. He was somebody who I liked coming into the NBA. I hope that he could have gotten to the Lakers, but it seems like, Philly gets the first pick. like every year, damn near. And so, again, he has to develop a jump shot, but the fact that he's so physically built, he's going to give a lot of guys problems. And he's somebody who thinks about passing first as well. So, again, I have no idea why they picked up Markelle Fultz if they knew what they were getting in Ben Simmons. They could have went for, maybe a Josh Jackson, maybe even a Jason Tatum, somebody else. But, hey, it is Philadelphia, and they're not necessarily the brightest organization. So, and could somebody please tell me why is Embiid on minutes restriction? I mean, come on now. Stop it. Play the guy. You're already paying him a boatload of money. Can he earn it, please? Anyway, back to this. So, I'm going to touch on again about the daddy issues part. Because, listen, it's no secret that, when it comes to the African American community, there's a lot of single mothers. And so, raising a man, it's hard because a woman can't teach a man how to be a man the same way a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman. And so I'm not saying that either person doesn't try to do the best they can and instill values in them, but you need both sides in order to develop character. And so when I look at what LeVar Ball is doing, and he gets a lot of slack, and I noticed a lot of people who want Lonzo to fail has to do with his father. I just feel like in a society where a male figure is not really prevalent in the home, it's easy for people to look at that and not really understand because they never really experienced it. Again, as a father, you have a son, and I look at what he's doing with all three of his boys. They're not getting in trouble. They're not out here doing anything reckless for the most part, at least from what we see. He got all three kids to go to college, and potentially all three kids will end up in the NBA at some point. And so he's debunking a lot of this system. And I just caution people who are watching what the media is saying. You have to understand that the media is not used to, nor do they want to see a dominant African American Black father speak out and so boldly, and yet have people backing him. For him to want to start his business, start his sneaker for his sons and build that brand, that's unusual for them because they're so used to the man just pandering and doing everything they can to fall under the thumb of some huge corporate company, i.e. Nike or whoever else. And so this is a very unique situation. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, say what you want about this man, but he is going to change the way a lot of players approach the NBA and other sports, because it is a business. You see the way they trade players. You could get hurt at any moment. You really have to understand that if you are not building a brand for yourself outside of the game, you can fall victim to, just not being the hot thing anymore. And then that's it for you. So, again, I commend him. I know he doesn't say things that people like. But hey, that's his belief. Let him say what he wants to say. At the end of the day, Lonzo, like I said, he ain't bothered by it. So if the guy who is the most affected by it doesn't care, why should I? Because this is only going to make him better. And that's another thing that, LeVar teaches them. And I heard Lonzo even say, hey, it's basketball. What are they going to do to me? This ain't boxing. This ain't where you could die in the ring. Nobody's dying on the basketball court. What are they going to do? It's basketball. You play hard, I play hard. You have your motivation, I have my motivation. At the end of the day, he's 19, he's learning. If guys are coming at him hard, it's only going to make him better. What's going to happen year 2, year 3, year 4? He's going to keep getting better and keep getting better. So I think this is a great thing. And also, it's only going to continue to bring more attention to the Laker games. Because now everybody wants to see what's going to happen. And so I think, this is a great opportunity for him to develop. Because as an athlete, as a competitor, you want your opponent's best. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. And I will come back on here after that game on Wednesday, and I'm going to talk about it. Win, lose, good game, bad game. I'm going to tell her how it is. Now I'm going to move on to the next thing. So today, guys, today was a good day. I visited the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Center. And here's my question to you guys. Is it wrong for a fan of one team to visit a stadium of another team, particularly a rival? And here's why I say this. Because I was getting a lot of crap from some good friends of mine who happen to be Cowboys fans. Now, I live in Dallas. They live in New York. I used to live in New York. I was a Giants fan in New York. I'm here in Dallas. I'm still a Giants fan. And so they gave me a lot of crap because, what are you doing at that stadium? You're a traitor. Why don't you just become a fan? And look, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm a fan of sports. I'm a fan of competition. Okay? I have teams that I like and that I want to prosper and do well. In basketball, it's the Lakers. In football, it's the Giants. I also have my favorite quarterback who I like to see in Aaron Rodgers. I love to see him do well. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm a sports fan. I like the Yankees. That's the team that I want to see do well in baseball. Have I gone to Met Stadium and watched the game? Absolutely. In fact, at one point when I worked for a company and they used to give you tickets to take clients to those games and you're in a suite. Listen, when my manager at the time would come to me and say, hey, I got tickets. You can bring your clients. It's the Mets. You think I'm going to say, nah, no thanks, because I'm a Yankees fan? Look, I went. I had a good time. I stayed in the suite. It was food, free food. It was the best view. It was awesome. I even went to Madison Square Garden and was in the suite a few times. And again, I just told you, I'm a Lakers fan. You think I cared? You think I turned down the opportunity to go there? Hell no. Now, listen, am I going to, go there and spend my own money to go and watch that particular team? Absolutely not. If I go there, I'm either going because the team that I want to see might be visiting. Give an example. I went to Brooklyn Nets Stadium a few years ago. This was when Kobe Bryant's last year, when he was retiring. And so the Lakers came to play the Brooklyn Nets, and I bought tickets. And you know what? That entire stadium was damn near packed with Lakers fans. It felt like I was in LA at the Staples Center. And so, am I a fake fan as a result? Because I got a couple of stadiums that I'm going to go to. Honestly, look, I'm tempted to do a series where I'm just the road to visiting every single NFL team stadium. And then go on to the next sport. Visit every NBA stadium. Why? Because life is what you make it. And I want those experiences. Why not? I want to be able to talk about it later on in life and say, I visited that stadium. Because a lot of times these stadiums are getting done over. And so you might visit a stadium today, and in 5 years, that stadium is no longer there, and they may have moved the team somewhere else. Like I went to the Texas Rangers game, and I had some amazing seats that I found on SeatGeek. And so it was the Yankees versus the Rangers. So I went to support my Yankees. But I also went because I wanted to check the stadium out. The season was coming to a close. I haven't had a reason to go there. And you know what? I had a great time. And so I tell people, are you a fan of the sport? Or are you just a fan of the team? And I feel like, hey, if you're a fan of a team and that's it, good. Good for you. Don't go anywhere else. Stay there. My thing is, you're missing out. I don't get paid by a team to just simply run around here and just keep a blindfold on to everything else that's going on. I don't get paid from that. You see, when a company wants to own you and want to make sure that you just roll with them, they pay you money. When Nike gets an athlete and they sign a deal with them, they can't be caught in Adidas. They can't be caught in Reebok. But you think prior to them having a deal, you think they never wore Adidas? You think they never bought Yeezys? Or some other brand? And vice versa. You got people on Adidas. You think they ain't never wore Nikes? Come on now. And so, hey, you wanna own me? You want me to run around here and act like that's the only thing that I'm interested in? Cut me a check. Until then, if they weren't paying these players, they'd wear whatever they want to wear. And so, it was funny. Let me go back to the experience of the tour. What's interesting too is, I have my barber who's a big Cowboys fan. And when I told him I was going to the tour, what's interesting is he's never went. He never went. And my thing is, you a fan. I would imagine that you, and this is somebody who's been in Texas for many, many years. I just got here. And my thing is, I want to explore everything. I have a passion and a hunger for just living my life and doing whatever my heart's content. If I'm not hurting nobody, I'm not killing nobody, I'm not breaking no laws, I'm not doing any crime. I just want to experience everything, and I'm not waiting till I'm 65 or 70 to do it. And so even when I was doing the tour, there were people in the tour, right? So it was a group of 15 of us. And there were people in the tour who weren't even Cowboys fans. So I wasn't alone. They just came for the experience, because Jerry's world, or like I like to call it, Aaron Rodgers' world, that stadium is gorgeous. I went for the opener against the Giants. And I mean, listen, if you haven't been to a Cowboys game or that stadium for any event, I mean, they do concerts, they have college football teams that are there. You need to go. It's a historical landmark. It's the $1 billion playpen. And you could tell there was a lot of money put into it. So it's worth the experience. It's probably by far the best stadium in the world, across any sport. And so I wanted to be able to experience that. And so here's a funny thing, right? I didn't know what to expect. And so I took my camera. I just got this new camera. And so another thing I do, guys, is I do YouTube videos. And if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. It's built for anything. All right. The number 4. Okay. And, I wanted to document this experience. And as I'm driving there, I'm saying to myself, shit, I don't know if they're going to let me in with this. I mean, I get it that the team isn't playing. And obviously, I'm smart enough to know that I can't go to any game with a DSLR because that's more professional. But I figured, hey, team isn't playing. What's the worst that can happen? I should be able to, bring in my DSLR and get some really good footage. And so I get there and I said, let me ask first. So I approached them. I approached the lady at the counter where you get tickets. And I said to her, hey, I'm here for the tour. I understand that, the players aren't playing. Can I bring in my camera? And I showed her. And she looked at it and she said, I don't know. Clearly it's like, professional camera. And so she's like, you got to ask the security when you go in. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm a little disappointed because I'm like, clearly they're going to see this and they're just going to tell me no. And, I'll just put it in my car and I'll just have to use my cell phone like everybody else. So I go in and it's 2 guys. And I say, hey, I'm here for the tour. I just wanted to make sure, is it all right if I bring my camera? And I hold up my camera. And the first guy, immediately, he's like confused. And he's like, I don't know. And before he could even say anything, the other guy is saying, no, it's okay. You can bring it in. And the other guy chimes in and he says, you just can't take video. Now, listen, clearly, again, I'm just giving you guys a visual. I have a Canon 1DX Mark II. Please feel free to Google that camera. It's a big camera because it shoots video, photos as well. And also I had a Rode mic on top of it for audio. So clearly, if you look at it, you could tell that device you can take video. And honestly, they should have immediately told me, no way, no how. I have a lens on there, which is a 24-70 Canon L lens. Again, feel free to Google these things. Once everything is put together, it's a professional camera. Anybody with common sense will look at it and say, oh man, probably not. But anyway, he's like, oh, no, you're fine. Just go up the steps, make a right. I'm like, oh, they messed up. So I realized I got to be low key with it. So I'm going up the steps. I'm filming. I get up there and, I get to the person who was going to show us the tour, because it's a guided tour. But they do have different packages. So I did see where you have self-guided tour, which I don't know if that means you just get to run around and do whatever you want. I don't know about that. Because it's so huge and you want to be able to see. I prefer to have a guided tour. And so, I get there and I'm filming. I'm taking a ton of pictures and they're showing us around. They show you the cheerleaders locker room, the players locker room. You go through the tunnel. You're out there on the field. And it's just an amazing experience. So I definitely recommend anybody, fan or not, of the Cowboys, if you have an opportunity, you should definitely check out the Dallas Stadium. Because, listen, it's an experience. How often are you going to get to really be on the field? Okay, so I had a good time. My friends gave me shit about it. I don't care. I'm already thinking about the next place. I want to go to Lambeau Field one day. I want to check out Alabama play because I heard, college is just like, it's an experience, man. It's just, I got to experience a college game. Even Texas A&M out here. Listen, I don't care. I want to enjoy it. And you should too. So that's it, y'all. I'm going to get back to doing what I do. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. And listen, if you are not subscribed, definitely subscribe to this podcast. I'm knocking out podcasts damn near every day. Okay? I'm not talking any of that ESPN or Fox Sports 1 or stats and all of that stuff. I'm just going to give you the real, tell you how I feel. And like I said, hopefully you guys learn something from it and hopefully you enjoy it. So catch this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, as well as Podbean. It's your boy Hertz. Thank you for listening.